Greetings, ladies and gentle players. It's another wonderful Friday this February of 2022. And here's a hint. When you're recording a video intro, you need to remember to hit record. Kinda helps out. Otherwise, you're just talking at a camera like a moron. Yeah, don't ask me how I know that one. But here is another wonderful game with Celeste that I recorded last week. In this game, she is going up against a 7Q as a 10Q. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, as a 10Q. And I kind of want to say, since then, currently stabilizing here at a lovely 8.4Q. So right there on the brink of going up to 8K, I can see that there was a win here, and here, and here, and here. Ain't that something? I do believe it is. Way to go to Celeste, doing fairly well. As you can see in this game over here. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you're enjoying the series. Just like I hope you're enjoying BadukClub, where you can go and find a happy little map and find happy little people enjoying Go just about everywhere. Just about everywhere. Not quite everywhere. Some places in Argentina don't have it, and Venezuela apparently. Apparently those places don't have it. Oh, this place has it. Oh wow. Oh, I thought they were right on the coast, like play Go and then look out over the water line. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Either way, there are Go clubs all over the place. Could be one in your area, or there could be if you decide to put one on the map. Just saying. Just saying. But yeah, they got links to clubs, events, teaching stuff. It's fantastic. I also got a little store there too, if you'd like to, get the hookup on a little bit of the Go equipment action. Either way, if you haven't been there, you should be. What you waiting for? Go check it out. And then, go check out this video with Celeste playing a 7Q. Take care, everyone. You are playing a 7Q today, good old Freshborn.
Yeah.
Who I think is also lying. I don't think he was born, fresh. Not sure where I'm going with that. I don't think he was born recently. So, you had games recently that you showed me that you wanted me to see how you've been playing recently. I think for the most part, they were pretty reasonable. Oops, I switched off. How did I get off of your game? That's not even possible. OGS, stop that. Sorry about that, those watching the video. OGS decided that I was not supposed to look at this game anymore. But here we go. So your opening, I think, is reasonable. You have a high approach here, which is completely fine. You're getting the attachment because that's just something that we see a lot of. Hard to screw up this Jiseki, in my opinion. Okay, now that right there is worth taking a peek at. You've got the R13 stone here. That one's interesting. What does that tell us about our future moves here for possibles, if we need forcing moves?
Oh, I didn't even realize that the standard 1-point jump was not played, which means that I can attach to the R16 stone.
Yes, this is the danger of playing too quickly and potentially going over things. I will say, however, you did not have to play it immediately. It's just something that we should have taken note that it is there in the future. But I guess he has to respond to it, so no harm, no foul. Just make sure you don't lose Sente here, otherwise the double approach in the bottom left is going to be very, very painful. So very, very important we do not lose Sente. If we lose Sente, we will be sad. Do you want to be sad this game?
I would rather not. I've been sad a lot recently.
Alright, that got dark, thank you.
In my Go games, of course, is what I'm trying to say.
I see. Okay. All right, you did respond. Cool, cool, cool. Now you say that, but I think I remember that you won your last two games.
I did win my last 2 games. That is a true statement.
Why the kick?
Because 1, the kick is forcing, and 2, I kinda wanna develop the bottom of the board, and, backing off with a knight's move felt, too passive for some reason.
And yet, what are you about to play? Okay, so you did that. You could have played that originally. Knight is not passive. I will go ahead and say that. Um. All right, so you have Sente again. That's really good. What are our options here?
Let's see. I could approach again on the right side, somewhere like R10. Or I could approach the top corner, probably from the top, from
Or
the
you could
outside.
enclose. That's also a nice big one.
I
So
could
we,
also enclose, yes.
yep. So we're essentially going to be deciding to take points or make a framework kind of dealio or approach and just kind of continue offward. This one I think is a good move because it's probably going to be Sente. And since you already have K16, then you're going to keep Sente from this, right? Because you don't have to back off since you already have a stone in place.
Yeah.
So we could probably get that one for free, and then we could play one of the big moves that you had mentioned previously. I will slightly adjust what you said though, because you said you were thinking about R10. If we were going to play a move like R10, I would bump that up one just for more severe follow-ups on the right later on at some point, rather than play R10. I'd probably be being
Gotcha.
elite more severe.
I was looking at R10 because it would, at least threaten it would that stone at, Q13 or R13,
Mm-hmm.
it was one less direction that that stone could go.
Mm-hmm. I would be looking at R11 because it gives you an option of playing a move like, ooh, I don't know, like the a Q13 later on. So we're thinking about forcing moves. All right, you
Oh,
played neither and played,
R11. Sorry, I misunderstood what you were suggesting.
yeah, oh yeah. Q10's fine too though. It's an
Mm.
extensiones. Your approach now is when we have to make a really big decision. Are we going to play for territory or are we going to actually play for influence? Which move do we play for which idea?
If I wanted influence, I would pincer this stone,
Mm-hmm.
which would work well with the 3 stones I already have on the bottom left.
Probably your upper mid side too, the Q10 as well, because we're expecting a wall that's probably going to face that direction. But yes, that would
Mhm.
be for influence. It doesn't always go that way. They have a possibility of jumping out, obviously, but most of the time there'll be a 3-3 evasion. Or we'll just back off for territory, and either of these are fine. I think they're all valid options. All right, playing a territorial, or sorry, not territorial, rather an influential game. Depending on his next move, again, we can we can have ideas on how we want to continue the game, but it's a two-player game, so our opponent could always decide to be like, no, I'm not playing that way, and be like, okay, I guess we're not playing that way. Oh, that interesting. I will say probably wrong way to block with Q10 on the board, but this could be okay too.
I was thinking of, making territory on the bottom of the board and then using the Q10 stone to have points in the middle of the board. That was
Mm.
my thought.
We can look at the other variation a bit more in depth later. On the bright side, you are keeping Sente off of here, which is nice. So he'll do the one pointer. Uh-oh. Is he not sure? Sometimes people get this a little bit confused. Like, do we push again, then jump? Do we jump now? Can I play away? Some people I've seen do the small knight instead because they're uncertain. As long as he answers something here, it's usually okay. But the turn is just too large. The turn is Sente. So he'll answer something here, but what? While he's thinking about that, what are some other follow-ups that we might want to play on the board here? Any big points?
Let's see. So I always look at this shape with the 3-point jump at centered around D8. And I always feel like there's definitely supposed to be room in there to play a move.
Yeah,
But
that is definitely
nothing
invadable.
nothing ever feels right.
Um, if I were to tell you there is a forcing move for the invasion that threatens to connect up,
Would it be
can
the
you?
clamp?
The what? Sorry.
Would it be the clamp
No,
uh, at
that would
C7?
no, that would hurt our stone a little bit too much. I would expect that thing to get like reduced to liberty immediately. We'd be down to 2, and then we're toast. Oh, well, that conversation can be halted. He did not do what I thought he was going to do. Eeks. Yeah, that's that hurts right there.
It, yeah, no reason not to follow up here.
I agree. Those are forcing. Sure.
Now, I don't think that I need to respond here, because even if he cuts, I can just extend.
Or you can ladder it, because ladder's free.
Yeah, that's true.
So I would agree. Once we look at the cut, we can identify that the cut is safe right now. So sure, you have Sente.
Okay.
But what will we do with the lovely Sente? Because we have a choice.
Um,
We can build, invade, or attack. Because everything you have is pretty much safe, so there's no like real need to defend right now. So we're essentially just building, invading, or attacking.
so what about this for an idea? If I play H3, that gives me a lot of guaranteed territory in the corner. And it also means that this stone at K4 has to jump into the middle of the board, which gives me something to chase and build territory off the M stone.
So I'm okay with part of that idea. I wouldn't do 3 because your opponent could attach to it on the 4th line too easily and get shaped that way. So if I was going to play it, I would be playing 4 instead of 3 because I just don't want the outside attachment to be played. If I was going to play H3, yeah, I'd be playing H4 instead.
If the
Because when you go
attachment that
low,
strong.
yeah, because if we played low here, he attached, then you Hane, and then he extends, and he starts getting shaped really, really fast. Here at the giant question mark, like what is he going to actually do? All right, so he's playing a small knight. I guess he wants to put a little. Ooh, interesting move. What's our idea behind this one?
I'm strong and white isn't, so I can cut that.
But do you have the ladder?
Where is the ladder?
Well, what's his next move going to be?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Hmm. I agree that you are strong. I agree that you could probably try to fight. But yeah, the ladder is yeah, because if we cut here now, there will in fact be that ladder. Um that said, there might be a way to use this for profit. It's a little bit more difficult now though, I do admit that. But I do like that you noticed that you were strong in the area, so you could be a little bit aggressive here. That is a good first step.
Okay. So I'm gonna play E8 and use it to. I'm gonna take reverse Sente and place a ladder breaker on the board for free.
Oh, okay. Getting a little bit fancy here. Could do. Ladder breakers are fun. You could cut, have him commit to the ladder, and then do it. But you could do this one too. I think both are fine. Now, if he ignores you and protects the cut, what's your follow-up?
Uh, Cap.
No. We're E8 is E8 is threatening something, right?
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah,
let's
yeah. It's threatening to jump in at C8
there you go. Our moves
and
are
play.
having a value, and we don't wanna lose sight of what those moves are threatening to do. Too many times, I will see, especially at Q level, a move will threaten to do something. You won't get any kind of response you were thinking of, but we go off and do something completely different anyway, thus kind of invalidating the purpose of the previous move.
Mm.
And we don't really want to do that. Now he's thinking. Okay. There you go. Couple of things that he can do. Will he save? Will he play away? What's the idea here? There is something he might try that I hope he doesn't. Yeah.
There's still a Tetris shape here that doesn't have two eyes.
That is very true.
Like
Muting
even though the cut didn't work, or I played the cut in the wrong order,
muting on Discord. I'm also hoping he doesn't
I
try
can
this
still
out,
harass this.
because this might turn into a
Like
very,
imagine a
very
shoulder hit at N6.
this might turn into a very, very fast game if he tries to make the cut, because this runaway doesn't really go where he wants it to, and yeah, that would be very bad. There'd be two weak groups here, so I'm hoping he does not go for that cut. I would like it if he tried to settle the middle first. All right. Now, I am noticing we're playing a little quick, because I think his last move did threaten something, and I'm not entirely sure if you processed what he was trying to threaten. Because he made a shape move, didn't he? It's kind of like the
Yeah.
elongated table thing.
Hmm.
So does that help him do anything?
He could play P3, but
Mm-hmm.
if he does that, then N3, or I could just give those 3 stones up. Like it's uh 3, 6, 8, maybe
It's a
12
very,
points here.
it's a bit of a, yeah, it's kind of like a free corner if those stones are given up. So yeah, there's a complication there later, but it looks like he wants to run out his 3 stones first. So there is a very, very easy not proverb, but basic principle at play here for our next move. What is the one thing that we want to do here?
I don't know which proverb you're talking about.
Well, I wouldn't say proverb, more like a principle. Because he has this group, right? That's running
Yeah,
away. And he has the
split
one.
2 weeks group. Split 2
Yeah,
week
we,
group.
we don't want them connected. I don't know how you'll lose the game, but I think there's a really good chance right now, if he connects up these two groups, the sheer amount of strength that's going to radiate all around the rest of the board will make it very, very tough for you to win. Because he'll be able to like invade wherever he wants, start tanuking all over the place, and play whatever move catches his fancy. And it's going to be an awkward time. But the longer he's still looking for life with both groups, better it is for you 9 times out of 10. So that is why we definitely want to keep groups separated.
Gotcha. So play a light move like J5 or a more severe move like H6.
I think either of those are good. I think even though you could play that one, you could play the 1 point jump, you probably could play the small knight. I think anything that just keeps one group from connecting to the other one is probably really, really good. Because the question is now, where are those 3 stones going to go? Are they going to keep jumping out? Are they going to lean against your 2 stones and make them immortal? Like, how is he going to... How is he going to do that? I see that Freshborn in chat says he was aiming at P3, but then decided against it. Interesting. All right. Now, this is a bit of a shape problem here. Where is Black's next move? Very, very natural one. So white group is trying to come out, but it's also trying to do something else. Any idea what that something else is?
Yeah, I was trying to surround my 2 stones.
So how are we going to prevent that from happening?
Attach at E10.
Wait, at E10. So that's an interesting move. That says I'm going to lean on E10 because I want to kill the 4 stones. Because whatever we're leaning on, we're going to make it stronger. As a result, we're probably not going to be able to kill it. So if we lean on D10, we're going to make it stronger, but then we kind of are really, really forced to try to kill the 4. So I would kind of not want to do that, given that there's still like invasions that we can perform in there later. But if you think you can kill the 4 for white, then I'll say go for it. But if we can't and both live, that could be a little rougher.
Yeah, I don't think that the 1 point jump at G8 works because I think white can just cut through that immediately.
White cannot cut through that immediately. If white tries, white will be very, very sad.
So that 1 point jump actually works.
Yeah, it's not cuttable. It is not cuttable.
Is that the shape move you were alluding to?
Right now we're kind of just going off the principle again. We're just wanting to not wanting to be separated or not wanting to be surrounded, and we're just keeping things separated again. So whatever move that we do, that's not leaving us a shape problem. That's separating like that is fine. Yeah, there are numerous ones here. Wasn't the exact move, obviously, their chat, but I also don't want to give them the exact moves. So I'm kind of just kind of giving them the ideas, and then I'll show, like, this would have been a better shape, and here's why. And if they play this and it turns into shape problems, then it just helps explain it in review as to why this move would be better than the other one. So yeah, here you're worried that he's going to cut through the 1 point jump here. So how would you imagine that? Like with what move leading? I don't think he's going to try.
Just cut directly at F8.
All right, so he's gonna Hane, and then you're gonna Atari it, obviously. So what
Yeah,
happens then?
Hani on the inside, Atari on top, connect below.
Well, you
Um,
would definitely Atari on top because you can't Hane, you can't Atari under because that would be self Atari. So yeah, you would
right.
Atari from above. He has to connect, and then you get to connect. Then you would have been fine there. So yeah, he's very, very afraid that you're gonna hurt his group apparently. Big questions here. What are we gonna do?
I
What
feel
are
like
we? Hmm?
I feel like my 3 stones are fine, so I wanna play away from those. I'm just not sure what the most severe way to play away from those are.
When you say play away, what on the board is catching your attention that you want to go and play that instead? That might help us to
Uh,
choose a move.
so I'm looking at O7, which grows the side of the board, except for that pesky stone at R13. I was also thinking about L7 jumping up, but I think that's too weak. I think there's too many gaps
Yeah,
there.
I'm not a fan of that shape. That shape is a little bit yeah.
I was thinking about N3.
Well, going back and playing that, yeah.
Because if I can keep this group unsettled in the meantime, then at least I have something to attack even if it lives.
Question is, will he go and defend and connect up now? Is he going to try to counterattack your 3 stones? Lot of choices here for white. What will you do? I do not want to see a 3-3 invasion. That's the only thing that I care about. I just don't want to see a 3-3 invasion right now. In fact, I will go so far as to say, if you are looking at this game and you are thinking, I want to live with C3 before black solidifies a territory there, then you've engaged in a variation that will probably end in a loss for white. Because we can anticipate that'll strengthen black, that it'll lose Sente, and given the things that are a little bit weak, that would be very, very bad. Okay, he's trying to connect. All right, we got person trying to connect. I just noticed their profile picture. Is that who I think it is? It is. It's the I think it's the 10-year-old, 11 at this point, I guess. Female Japanese professional.
Do I
I think that's who
care
that
about
is.
that one stone?
Well, he is trying to connect his group up right now.
Yeah, but I could play K6, let him take the one stone, and then play up to keep the two groups separated.
That is a pretty big brain idea. Yeah, you could cut him off. That's true. That's true. Do okay. I was gonna say, do you think your 3 stones are strong enough to handle that fight right now? But we will find out momentarily.
Yeah, I think that the three stones are very strong. They have
Okay.
two different ways to run if they need to.
Okay. Fair enough. Will he take? No, I think he should block first. Yeah, definitely block. Because I'm gonna go to. Yeah, okay. Now, what are we going to do here? Now that is an interesting. What prompted that move?
Make shape while threatening a cut. Like, hey, we're about to fight, so I'm gonna take this move first and make a tiger's mouth.
Because for me, it seems like it's a very defensive move, which is weird because I don't really see a need to be defending right now. And at worst, I view that as kind of getting rid of a potential co-threat right now.
I'm not even thinking about Ko.
But yeah, that defense is very odd to me. Very odd indeed. I don't think you lost anything playing it besides like a kind of potential co-threat, but it is yeah, it was weird. I'll have to look at that again in review. and see
It was a
what the
move that
variations
felt
were.
natural to me because if I'm about to start a fight, then I should make my groups on both sides as strong as possible, right?
I see that part I do agree with, but I would then be wanting to make strength without giving my opponent any extra defenses of any kind, whether it's more liberties, protecting cutting points, things like that. That way, I've made myself as strong as I could. The group I'm about to attack has no extra stones added to it, and then we can go off and do whatever. But he got afraid to cut because he was afraid that you were going to live and counterattack him, so he didn't. Yeah, see, that move, I think your move didn't do a lot, just kind of strengthening your opponent, and this move is just strengthening you. Because there was no cut that you were about to play to like suddenly wedge through his group or anything. So yeah, that's a weird move. But hey, empty triangle. Everyone likes those.
Yeah.
Now he's got a cut point to look after. How will he defend it? Okay, good. Next few moves are probably going to be straightforward. Uh-huh. Need to extend. Can't let him Atari. Right. So what should we be thinking of when we're in a fight like this?
At what is a good point to pivot away from the fight?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, if he pushes my Blackstone up a couple of times and I can just swallow up D10 instead, I'm perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, if you can get strength and pincer D10, that seems like a really good idea. I agree. That's what I was looking for. We don't want to be like focused on just trying to kill one of these middle groups. The fact that he's bringing another section into play is really, really important to note. Because if you get in like a move on the left, then we wonder where White's territory is coming from, and we see problems because like the upper right, sure, the upper left, maybe, sure, yeah, and then the bottom right. But that's not a ton of points at that point. Like 2 corners and an invasion? It's not looking all that great. Not looking all that great. So yeah, we don't have to get like all tunnel vision here and be like, we must kill one of the middle groups. Like, sure, it'd be fun to do. Might even be possible. But there is extra profit that we have for ourselves here.
I
Yep, I
think that
agree.
that is the wrong way to Atari.
It gives them extra eye points, so it's arguable. I do like to extend, even if we sacrifice those 2 stones. It's always right. Okay, almost always right to extend at least once, just so the stone's not off the board. But yeah, here you still got 2 groups to attack, so no reason to sacrifice. I don't think. There's a lot you could do here. It's hard to find a wrong move.
I've been thinking about clamps a lot recently, like the past week.
May I inquire as to what clamp you are considering?
I am looking at N7.
Okay, and your opponent's going to play what immediately afterwards?
Extend up.
Mm-hmm. At that point, I don't know what the clamp is doing at that point because your 2 stones are going to be running,
Rule.
and he's just going to be running right next to you, and it's going to get a lot of liberties there. So I like that we're entertaining the idea of the clamp. I think I know which game you saw that had you considering the clamp more often, which is good. But yeah, here, don't need to do anything tricksy or whatever. He's just got 2 groups he's taken care of. As long as we don't make ourselves weak somehow, we should be pretty good. We should be pretty good. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Are we hesitating here?
Yeah, I'm thinking about N4. Trying to decide if
Uh,
N4 is better than just connecting at P3.
okay. That's a fair question. Um, I, uh,
I don't think it makes that much of a difference
yeah,
because
in the long
either
run, it
way,
probably doesn't. No.
either way, the group is alive. There's 2 eyes here. Unless I play like an absolute mad person at N6.
There's one possible way it's not alive, but I think it's alive. I think it requires white making a mistake to one of the replies.
Um, okay, so I'm gonna play N7 just to force a response so that I can follow this group into the middle of the
Seems
board.
reasonable. Yeah, I think N7 is definitely Sente. You're threatening to go after its eyeballs. I don't think he wants you to do that. So he'll need a response. Any other forcing moves there?
I don't think it's a forcing move per se, but it would be a good defense.
Which
Um,
one?
at O7, just connect.
Oh, 7. Definitely not a forcing move. And I don't think you need a Gote defensive move right now. Because either we want to play a forcing move against that middle group, or we probably want to do something that's more urgent elsewhere. Because your right is pretty okay. Oh, interesting. What is the idea here?
Reduce the eye space as much as possible so that if I do want to kill, then it's easier to go after.
I think this is actually not bad. Pushing through like this is usually bad unless we're going to cut, but in this case, I think it's not going to matter. Because he has to block. He can't. Well, I guess he can extend that way. Yeah, he only has two possible moves here. But we do have to remember this group that you're leaning on right now has no eye shape yet, which is nice. And if we get stronger, there are other things that we can do still. Okay. This could be interesting.
Yeah, because if there's a cut either way.
Now it's very important not to get tunnel vision here. Because we don't have yeah, exactly. If you tried to push through that cut, that was going to end in very, very bad things happening. So I'm glad you didn't do that. Instead, we're just trying to get stronger for something, right?
Yeah, I'm still looking at that D10 stone.
Uh-huh. Oh, interesting.
Huh.
What would you do to the D10 stone?
Pincer at D12.
Um, I would probably put that one line lower because the fourth line might get a connection under it, which would be a little awkward. So
Do I care?
I'd probably put C instead of D, I think. I think that would be a little bit more severe.
Do I care? I don't know if I care.
Yeah. If you don't care, then D12 is fine as well.
No, 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 sorry. I'm looking at this O 07.
Oh. Oh, that one.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't know if that matters or not.
Hmm. Can be big, but he's offering up a trade, right? I'm gonna damage some stones there. So you could easily say, hey, I think there are some other things that are just as big or bigger that I can go and play. And do that instead.
I think the cut here is just 3, 6, 9.
That is a good point too, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's weird. That's really weird.
I agree. I agree. Very, very, very odd. But now we've committed, so we can't let our stones there die, I think, right? Did not expect that one. Though that's a good point. That there is a co there. That's true.
I think white just died on the bottom of the board.
Uh it's a bit complicated. It's a bit complicated. Okay. Maximizing his base makes sense. Hmm.
This is a hard question.
Oh, what's the question?
Do I take do I take the stone that was offered? Do I drop down at H3?
Um,
Or do I play H6?
so taking is probably needlessly complicated because if you take, he's probably going to Hane, follow up his last move. You're going to probably respond to that, and then he's just going to retake, right? So you're still
Yeah,
going to be in a ko regardless. So it's probably better to respond here than give him potentially more things to kill by leaving like a cutting point or whatever. Probably would have connected that. This is going to turn into a really big ko now. Oh, yeah. So I didn't expect the ko for like the entire game right now. I feel like I've said that before in one of your games.
it happens. It's
I
not
feel
my
like there,
fault.
kinda. I feel like there are ways for you to keep the game simple, but you definitely cannot resist some of the more uh bolder plays, like going for an entire ko in the middle of the board. I'm going to show you a couple of variations here, and I'm kind of curious to see if you considered them at all during the game, or if they were totally off your radar. You may or may not be surprised by a few of them. But yeah, right now you're clearly in a ko for all the things. Co threats. Nothing on top is probably going to be good enough because of what we're dealing with here. So if I was him, I would probably pull a Celes and I would do probably some kind of clampy action around Q7 as my threat. Try to get in some fighty times. And yes, Clamping is now officially referred to as pulling a Celes. All right, so he's got to be contemplating. Yeah, there's okay. I was about to say there are multiple options that he could try here. There, there. Yeah, seems valid. Seems valid. Yeah, because we don't have enough liberties to survive that move. Like we could Atari, he'll connect, then you connect, and he plays exactly that one, and then a bit of a danger zone. Luckily for you, there are some sizable co-threats, I have to say. Any idea where your first move is going to come from? There are quite a few indeed.
What about honeying on the corner?
Uh,
S14.
oh, S14 to kill that one stone, huh?
Mm,
Seems threatening, sure. I can, uh, I can get behind that.
I can't see any other clear co-threats here.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So the question is, how many points is this worth if he wins the threat? If the wins the co. He gets like what, your 3 stones and the capture, so 2, 4, 6, and then maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 points, something like that, right? So
Yeah,
that's your goal. All you need to do is find something that either takes 10 points away from him, then way he gains nothing from the co, or is worth more than that, so he's losing from the co.
true.
So
There's
once
also
we
there's also in that case there's C17.
That's one that I would probably play last. I think there are more severe ones than just living in the corner. That one is a more severe one. That is true. He does not like you. Okay. Now this is a biggin because he's gonna have to play there again after your take, or he's gonna not be alive. Yep, there it is. All right. Now, do we have any big moves right now? Because this is your Sente.
Yeah, there's C12.
I've been wondering how he's going to respond to that one. That would also have been a pretty big co-threat, to be honest, because you would have had like the diagonal in response to him ignoring you, which threatens to give like 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 points more. I mean, it's just also it puts a lot of pressure on that 3/3 if you surrounded the corner. So it's a little bit harder to see that one, but it was still also a pretty big threat.
I didn't consider it as a co-threat because I thought it was a perfectly viable move in a
Mm.
non-co situation. And in a co situation, I look for moves that I can't otherwise play.
You otherwise would not be able to play 2 moves at once, which is why this, into not being even responded to and getting to grow, is also pretty big. Okay, that's the answer that I expected. Then from here, there's a couple of things that we can expect in return. Oh, going that way, okay. Hmm, interesting. Yeah, not bad, not bad. I expect there's only one real move for white right now. Any idea what it is? If you were white right now, where would you play?
Oh, 11.
Oh, 11. Similar idea, but not quite. I would be looking at the tiger mouth at M11 instead. That one seems like it's a lot harder to respond to. O11 just threatens to let the group jump away. Okay, he's gonna try to kill you, right? That's acceptable too. Sure, sure. There's 011. Okay. He's still trying to kill you. Understandable. Or he's just saving his stone, one of the two. Hard to say they do the same thing. Yeah. Probably could have played a 1-point jump. I don't think he could cut through that. But this should do too. Now the real question is, how aware is he that you guys are slowly edging towards the end game? Okay, looks like he's still maintaining some pressure. I can respect it. You're cutting. Interesting. Can honestly say I did not consider that cut. So you're noting that he doesn't have the ladder. Okay. He's gonna give it up. Intriguing. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Oh, he is going for endgame. Getting those endgamey moves. Tiger Mouth is slightly better there. That way, G19 is not Sente. You can respond in Atari it, and then you're done.
I thought that tiger balls in Endgame were always wrong because you
Nope.
leave peeps behind.
Nope. This one is just better endgame. Because he could play G19 right now in Sente. Mmm. Aggressive move. You see what it's doing?
Yes.
That is probably one of the largest Don level moves that he tried to play, leaning on your stone to try to kill your group. Unfortunately, it's going to come at a cost. But yeah, as long as we're not dead here, I think we're doing pretty good. Okay, okay.
Maybe I should have played L, the Turin, instead.
I admit I was rather partial to it. And fundamentally, if we can create a cutting point first, we're usually doing something good. Oh, that turn. Okay. Interesting. Okay. He fell back into a table shape. Not bad, not bad. That's very solid. Why that one?
Um,
It's like we're trying to cut through a table
keep
shape.
keep 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 things as separated as possible.
I think he's gonna connect though with his little connection there at K14, right?
Oh yeah, but then he's still on the run.
I mean, yeah. I think you're trying to kill things again. That's what I think is going on. I think we're playing aggressive moves to try to kill people.
I mean, he played a stone in my area.
That is true. That is true. And I guess he will need to connect up eventually. That's also true. That is also true.
My opponent asked for this.
Okay, so he's connected up right now, right? Are there any other big moves in this game? Cutting that stone off is very, very big. That is a fairly large side you got going there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think he's still trying to kill you. Oh dear.
Wait, what?
He's gonna Hane right now.
He doesn't have enough liberties.
Oh, yeah, he does. He's fully connected, that group is. You see that, right? This group in the middle is fully connected to the middle group on the bottom. I mean, that said, there is a reason why he can't fully surround you right now. I will admit that. Or not. No, that variation, you're good. No, 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 no. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. No, I'm not an idiot. Ah. Hmm.
Well, it's a good run.
Uh, I I will say you're gonna kick yourself with the review. I'm letting him know that he can go ahead and join in Discord.
All I had to do was drop down.
Okay, so that's not the part that you're gonna kick yourself on. I was struggling really hard not to mention this. But yeah, you got through this part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's this. That entire area is disconnected. This is where you can actually cut through 1 point jump, because there's no defense here. That just gets cut through, and at that point, this lovely little group is no longer alive. And if he connects, then you've got Mii cutting point, no matter how it's played, and then that is dead as well. So that is a huge disconnect. To be fair, you probably could have defended against it earlier by playing something like this and getting a defensive move in place. So it really shouldn't have been hanging around that long, but it was, so that's there. That said, you actually didn't do that bad of a job here. There were a couple of things that I was curious to see if you saw a simpler variation on. You played here, for example. Yeah, there's the two space. It's arguably allowed. It's something that I was confused at a couple of years back, so I asked Haley when I was able to get reviewed from her whether or not, like, what she thought about the one space versus the two space, and it's just meh. Pros be pros, and they play whichever. We don't see the two space a lot nowadays though, because yeah, you do have the easy push down to like the low lines here, which is kind of awkward. The kick is it's okay. The AI likes it. I usually just back off because I like having possibilities here. If, for example, my opponent backs off, I've got invasions, I've got expansions, like keeping him low and taking outside influence, whole bunch of stuff. My opponent attaches to my corner, which they usually do. I can just go ahead and get as much influence as I want, or I can just go ahead and take some territory here. That's fine too. But all right, you kicked. Kick's fine. Kick's fine. Now it's important to note that if we kick here, this will probably be in our future because it's an easy invasion point. This was good. Kicking here because we're not going to pincer ever. It makes sense. We didn't go Tay, but that's just how that is. Now here was a first deviation because you instantly played here, which to an AI is probably okay enough. I would prefer to play here because we're making use of Q10 and we're still expanding on the bottom. We even have, for example, ways to keep building up here in the future with a simple turn. So it's kind of nice. But we played here, and yes, do have to jump here. Very, very important for the Jiseki. So make sure you remember that. Because yeah, the turn here is too large. Because if they haunt it one more time, you're dead. So you have to like play here, and now it's just fully surrounded and awkward. So yeah. Now this would not be my first option. I would probably play something like this one instead. It kind of threatens to go after the shape point without actually poking at it right now. I think it's a little bit less severe than what you tried. Here, again, I'd probably go ahead and play this way. And then play the ladder break. This is fine too, though. Just make sure you follow up as you did. Good, good, good. And then, yeah, here you played way too fast. We probably need to defend that immediately. Because, unfortunately, he didn't play it, but this does work now. If he cuts, we're either giving up these stones or... It looks like this is the variation, but... It's not that great because as you can see here, we're kind of undercut and getting reduced in exchange for just not being dead there. It's kind of awkward. This was nice. I like the disconnection. My personal favorite here would be similar response. Just make sure that he can't surround you. But this is okay. Playing the Hanes for free. I like it. Super important. Playing this is really awkward because you get a chance to now let your opponent push through you. And then we have to respond anyway. So why didn't we respond to begin with? Seems to be the largest question there. Black can then push again. I mean, I don't know, we can do that one. But at this point, there's just so large of a wall that black has, like 10 lines or so. That's going to get really, really awkward later on. Yeah, once again here, I just don't see what this is doing, unfortunately. Because there's no disconnect there. It looks like it's trying to defend against this. But there's nothing really there. So we're not really defending against anything. Same thing here, not really defending. We're just kind of making white stronger, not... or black, sorry, making black stronger, sorry. Not too happy with that. I like this, this. I'd prefer the turn. I think the turn is a lot easier to make sure that we're just not going to be in trouble. Connects up pretty easily too. A little bit more difficult. I would absolutely play here now, because if they play away, there's that ko again for life. So they're probably going to go ahead and answer it. And then we can play elsewhere. Which, for my money, I'm leaning towards a move like... hard to say. Maybe something like in here?
Yeah, but then white cuts. Because I was looking at Atari as well, but I didn't because the N8 cut is still there. So white connects.
Oh, white. Yeah, we could definitely play here, but this is not a ko that we can actually face.
No,
Oh,
no, no,
white
no, no.
connects. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
You
that's fine.
play. White connects, black plays elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
And now white cuts at N8.
That is actually completely fine with me, because I'm seeing a lot of extra strength here for black and not so much for white. Because that right there is going to be a dead group. Right? Because it's already capped at Q10, can't really go anywhere. Nowhere to run. Don't block here, just push one last time. Now we're safe. So yeah, this should be pretty safe. This should be pretty safe. Here into here, not bad. This was okay too. Now this is where I mentioned one of the simple plays was, because it sounded like you were thinking about just giving up the middle stones, and I kind of agree with that, because that is going to be Sente. And then they take there. At that point, you could do whatever you want to do. You could just go back here and play this way and keep building up the middle that way if you wanted to. You can attack here, high or low at this point. That I don't think it matters anymore, because you've got this enormous wall in the middle of the board, so that'd be fine. But yeah, really, really huge sacrifice there. Instead, we're kind of committing, which gets awkward. Yep, this was huge too. It's kind of surprised you didn't play this one. Because if they disconnect you here, that gets really, really awkward, because you're like essentially living in the corner. Now you could argue then your group on the other side is going to be in trouble, so you don't want to play this way. And that's fine too, but it's also why I would play this one immediately. Because here's the slight problem there. Like, you're alive now, so that's still A-okay. At that point, I'd probably definitely defend this one. Yeah. Okay. I probably would defend one last time here. Especially because already I'm noticing that this is a thing. That right there is a huge disconnect. Again, same thing here, or a different thing here. The Tiger Mouth I mentioned in the game, because it makes sure that that's not going to be Sente. I was really curious to see how white was going to answer this move, because this is really painful for white to be completely fine here. We don't really want to play this way. We can play this way though. Then we get 1, 2, 3 points there. Kind of awkward. This might have been a thing. I'm not really sure. Hard to tell. I don't think they can Hane there because that looks dangerous. And yeah, here it looked like we were trying to get some kind of killy action in. But that was still a really big thing to play. And right now, if we play... we just connect back. I think that should be game. The right's pretty big. Obviously, there's the Atari still, but you did cut off. Got your profit in, which is nice. The group's nice and connected up. So yeah. Any questions about the game?
Yeah, I didn't even think that the black group in the middle could be cut off still.
Hmm.
That's why I ignored it.
Yeah, it's a little bit far away, but unfortunately, with that stone there, that Hane just barely gets it done. And unfortunately, if we try to go back to their variation now, we find out that we are exactly... no, actually, hold on. Am I stupid? Hello? Yeah, we find out that we're exactly like 1 liberty too far behind. We can't keep this up because we get captured there. Oh, actually, we won't even throw them. We just play here at that point, yeah. But all right. Any questions from either player?
Yeah, when I thought maybe when they played F7, you were kind of quite a lot earlier on, down in the bottom left. I was thinking, I was worried about E6, so I thought when that one got played, I thought that was maybe you trying to like nod at me to play there. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure what happened to those 2 stones in the corner. I thought maybe
Yeah,
couldn't quite
unfortunately
read it out.
here, the black would unfortunately collapse at this point. Can't hold all this. There's too many weak black stones. So yeah, there was not a high chance that was gonna happen. If so, though, I would probably play this one for the defense, because that looks like it's Sente. And then I could go off and do whatever.
Yeah, this was I'm not. Yeah, this was a really crazy game. They don't usually go like this. I think it kind of started with the cut of the knight's move in the bottom, because then yeah, I was terrified the whole game of either of my groups dying. And yeah, it was kind of like the black group there also on the left was weak, so yeah, and then yeah, so I was just
Black
hoping
group
I
on the
could
left is
connect up.
probably actually going to be fine, because
Yeah.
especially after you made this exchange, at worst, hello, no. There is the attach into the Hane here, which will probably give it eyes if it needs to live locally. So I expect that's going to be that's going to settle one way or another. Ideally, yeah, it's probably going to turn around and attack you.
And yeah, earlier on, the cut at P3 in the bottom right, I thought black would live there, so I didn't want to play it because I couldn't quite see how to get the sort of 2 stones on the second and third line facing in, or how to really do anything with that. So I kind of that's what I was trying to do, but then yeah, I was just a bit scared of it, so I just kind of left it and did something else and tried to rescue my 2 stones on the left, which maybe was a bad idea. I'm not
Yeah, at
sure
this
if
point, I probably would leave the 2 stones. Just leave it to
yeah.
themselves, because yeah, the cut does work.
Mhm.
Yeah, if that
Yeah.
was the reason for defending here, then should just go with it. Otherwise, we waste the move, which would be unfortunate. At the very least, might as well follow up with the cut. Just double check to make sure that your opponent's response is going to be what you think it is before we play elsewhere. But all right, if there are no other questions, then good job, both players.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
Yeah, it was fun. Thanks for playing, and yeah, sorry it turned out so complicated. Yeah, not for how basic it was, but
I feel like that was a pretty normal game. That's how most of my games kind of go.
I
But keep
felt
in mind,
I felt there were like neither of us were making any territory basically, compared to my normal games, but yeah.
yeah, just keep in mind for both players, there was ways to kind of like make things a little bit simpler that kind of both changed your mind on. Like you could have, yeah, absolutely. You could have decided to just like kill this and let that die, and then game progresses with things locally resolved. But it's when like you make a move to threaten to like attack something and then you don't really go for it and we just keep drawing out groups all over the place that things definitely do get messy, as you said.
But yeah, yeah, thanks a lot, both of you.
And I will see everyone next time.